Today's news highlights. Date June 20th, 2025. News highlights: the 6th month of the lunar calendar in 2025, 6/25/7/24, is the season of drastic energy changes, and numerology experts point to the 5 zodiac signs such as rabbit, horse, and pig for good fortune. The rabbit has the help of the triad, and the career and feelings are proud. When the horse meets the nobles of Liuhi, the camp is smooth. Pigs have noble arches, fame, and fortune. The rat and the tiger are prosperous, but the ox must prevent the loss of wealth and health. This month contains 2 solar terms, small heat and big heat, suitable for transshipment and good luck. It is recommended that the zodiac adjust the pace, make good use of lucky colors and lucky items to avoid evil. News highlights: actress Wu Qinjun was unable to donate blood due to low heme, which caused concern about whether drinking coffee for breakfast affects iron absorption. Dietitians point out that the polyphenols in coffee can interfere with plant-based iron absorption, especially when consumed with meals or when taking iron, but have less effect on the blood-based iron in red meat. It is recommended to drink coffee at least 1 hour after a meal, and pair it with foods rich in iron and vitamin C to help improve absorption. Normal consumption will not cause iron deficiency. Vegetarians and iron supplements should pay special attention. News highlights: on the 19th, the Board of Supervisors of the Central Bank maintained the policy of cracking down on housing speculation unchanged and did not push the 8th wave of selective credit control. President Yang Jinlong pointed out that although the concentration of real estate loans has dropped to 37.08%, it is still high, and if it rebounds in the future, it will not rule out another shot. The rise in housing prices has slowed down, the transaction volume has declined, and the housing market is in a stage of correction and consolidation. The industry believes that the central bank's inaction is mainly to avoid a hard landing of the economy, and the continued policy tightening will affect housing loans and market buying. The PBOC is also concerned about the potential impact of the appreciation of the NTD on capital and the housing market. News highlights: China is facing multiple demographic, economic, and social austerity challenges, with a record low number of births in 2023, negative population growth for 2 consecutive years, and a significant decline in the number of school-age children and primary school students. A large number of small and medium-sized enterprises have been deregistered, foreign investment has weakened, young people have difficulty finding employment, and consumer confidence is sluggish. The real estate market continues to be sluggish, online speech is restricted, and pressure on water and arable land is intensifying. Scholars point out that without effective reforms, this systemic contraction of population, resources, and capital is likely to exacerbate domestic governance and economic difficulties. News highlights: in recent days, Israel has once again dispatched a pager tactic to target key figures in Iran's military and nuclear programs for precision strikes, resulting in the deaths of many high-ranking officials. According to the Financial Times, the operation relied on an intelligence network built up by Israel over the years, including encrypted messengers disguised as Android phones, undercover agents and drone bases. As early as March, Israel drew up a list of attackers and used intelligence to lure targets to appear in a concentrated manner, achieving the effect of one pot. Tehran then ordered an emergency shutdown of connected devices, but with limited success. Experts reminded the Israeli side that it must guard against arrogance. News highlights: watermelon is a popular summer fruit, but be sure to wash the skin before cutting it. Experts point out that watermelons grow on the ground, which is easy to contaminate with soil, bacteria, and animal waste, and is more susceptible to contamination after being touched by multiple people. If it is cut without washing, the blade may introduce germs such as Salmonella and E. coli into the pulp. The correct way to do this is to rinse the melon with cold water, scrub it and dry it, and then use a clean knife to slice it, which can effectively reduce the risk of food poisoning. News highlights: South Korea is one of the most active countries in the development of nuclear energy in Asia, with the ability to independently develop nuclear reactors and successfully industrialize nuclear energy technology. The Korean Nuclear Energy Research Institute, KORI, is the core of its nuclear energy capabilities, covering a complete system from basic research to policy design to innovative applications. KORI's key facilities include the multi-purpose research reactor Hanero, the formation processing laboratory KURD and the small modular reactor SMART ITL. South Korea sees nuclear energy not only as an energy solution, but also as a key to industrial and international competitiveness. News highlights: the Education Department estimates that in the next 10 years, 43% of university teachers in the field of electrical and electronics will retire, which may cause a fault in teachers. Universities have called for equal treatment of current outstanding faculty and improved research environment, in addition to recruiting new blood. Another $10 billion of the higher education funding will be used for school operating costs to meet the challenges brought about by the industry's high salary attraction and the change in the retirement system. News highlights: the administrative agency will adopt the Long-Term Care 3.0 plan, which is expected to be launched next year, expand the service targets and bases, strengthen the integration of medical care and social welfare, and improve the care of the disabled. The program promotes inclusive care circles, home-based healthcare networks, nighttime emergency services and smart care technology in the multi-community community, and includes young dementia patients. The government will share the cost of inpatient care and provide a one-time free advance medical care consultation for people with age-specific illnesses. The executive premier, Chuk Wing-tai, emphasized that the policy is an inter-ministry, public-private partnership to achieve the goals of healthy aging in the place and a peaceful and healthy life. News highlights. Marvel, a major manufacturer of customized AI chips, announced on the 18th that it has added 2 new ultra-large cloud customers and has more than 50 customized chip order opportunities, which will drive the relevant market size to increase from the original $75 billion to $94 billion in 2028, with a compound annual growth rate of 35%. Marvel and TSMC have cooperated to advance 3nm and 2nm advanced processes, and the increase in orders will help TSMC expand its advanced process capacity. Marvel aims to have a market share of 20% in the customized accelerated computing chip market by 2028, and is optimistic about the continued rapid growth of AI infrastructure investment. News highlights. Yang Jinlong, governor of the central bank, said that the 7 waves of housing market control have been effective. The indicators of the housing market continue to decline slowly, although the concentration of real estate lending has dropped to 37.08%, it is still high, and the increase in housing prices has slowed down but has not fallen, and the central bank will review whether to relax the restrictions at the Board of Supervisors meeting in September. The PBOC has taken into account the demand for real housing replacement, and has few difficult cases of housing replacement loans, and continues to urge banks to control the total amount of real estate loans. The central bank also pays close attention to the inflationary pressure brought about by the fluctuation of international oil prices. News highlights. The 90-day reciprocal period of U.S. reciprocal tariffs expires on July 9, and Goldman Sachs predicts that Trump will not reinstate higher tariffs at that time, and tariff rates on Chinese products may remain unchanged. Goldman Sachs believes that the overall U.S. tariff rate has been raised by about 10 percentage points and it is expected to increase to a maximum of 15 percentage points in the future, but Sino-US trade tensions may not heat up anymore. Nomura Holdings warned that the United States may continue to impose higher tariffs on Southeast Asian countries to prevent China from evading taxes through re-exports in the region, especially Vietnam and Thailand, where tariffs are expected to reach more than 20% to crack down on the laundering of origins. News highlights. Wistron, 3231, Zhubei AI Park opened its new factory yesterday, 19th, and all production capacity has been contracted by NVIDIA, and the momentum of AI server orders in the coming year is strong. Lin Jiangxun, general manager of Wistron, said that it will expand the production capacity of adjacent factories and is expected to be put into operation next year, and Taiwan's AI server production capacity will double. Wistron chairman Lin Xianming emphasized that AI is a symbol of national strength, and the AI Park will be used as a starting point to promote the development of AI applications in Taiwan. In May, the consolidated revenue exceeded 200 billion yuan for the first time, with a bright performance, and the legal person is optimistic about the follow-up operation prospects. Vice President Su Meikem and a number of business leaders attended the opening ceremony. News highlights. Hsinchu Mayor Gao Honggan is facing a recall case and has entered the 3rd phase of voting, which will be held as soon as the end of July. She was sentenced to 7 years and 4 months in prison and suspended from office in the first instance for the case involving assistant fees in the legislative appointment, and is now in the second instance. In the face of the pressure of recall, Gao Honggan stressed that if he is recalled, the mayor will be appointed by the Taiwan authorities, which is unfair to the citizens, and called for blue and white cooperation to oppose the recall. She also made political achievements, such as egg freezing subsidies and the expansion of the use of the elderly card, hoping to win the support of the public and survive the storm of recall. News highlights. When political commentator Li Zhenghao was driving away after recording on the evening of the 19th, a young man suddenly rushed out of the driveway and knocked on the window. Surveillance footage from the aftermath showed that the man had been wandering around the scene, suspected of premeditated attack. Li Zhenghao called the police to deal with it and examined his injuries, saying that the chilly water jug left by the suspect contained fingerprints, and the truth is expected to be revealed as soon as possible, and he will report his safety to the outside world. News highlights. In California, the United States, there was a fake parking ticket scam, in which a fraud syndicate printed a QR code on the ticket to induce car owners to enter a fake website to pay, and many people have been victimized. The police reminded that when receiving a ticket, you should carefully check the content, do not rush to scan the payment, should confirm whether it is an official bill, and take the initiative to contact the competent authority for verification in case of doubt. News highlights. An 11-year-old boy in China was diagnosed with lung cancer after recurrent fever and cough, which doctors suspected was related to long-term exposure to second-hand smoke from his father's cigarettes at home. Pediatrician Wu Hanmen called on addicts to quit smoking as soon as possible for the sake of their family's health, and suggested that exercise can be combined to reduce withdrawal discomfort and improve the success rate of quitting. News highlights. Some netizens claimed that by going to bed early, drinking more water, and supplementing vitamin C and zinc, the acne scars magically disappeared, and the product was also attached with a link to share profits. In this regard, dermatologist Huang Yangkai bluntly said that if it is really effective, the clinic can accept it, emphasizing that acne scar treatment requires professional medical intervention. Netizens are also skeptical, criticizing this as a professional text and reminding not to believe in exaggerated efficacy propaganda. News highlights U.S. President Donald Trump's announcement of whether to send troops to Iran within 2 weeks has sparked global attention. The Wall Street Journal editorial said that if the United States does not come to the aid of attacking Iraq, it may send the wrong message to China that it will not defend Taiwan. White House spokesman Li Witt responded that Trump and Xi Jinping have a friendly relationship and will make the best decision based on a comprehensive weighing of opinions, stressing that there is no sign of China's military support for Iran at present. News highlights a Ukrainian mother, Peshkalova, who came to Israel for medical treatment for her daughter with leukemia, was found and removed when Iranian missiles struck a residential area in the Israeli city of Baityan. Her daughter and grandmother were also killed in the attack. Peshkarova's husband is involved in Ukraine's war against Russia. A total of 25 people were killed in the attack, with the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry noting that 5 Ukrainians were killed in the attack, including 3 minors. Ukraine has called on its citizens to leave Israel and Iran as soon as possible. News highlights when some people bought Taiwanese railway pork ribs at Bangkiao Station, they found that there were suspected plastic foreign objects in the tribute pills, questioning the quality of the bento. After the investigation, Taiwan Railway admitted that the supplier was negligent in its operation, and the relevant inventory has been deactivated and fined in accordance with the law. This is the second food safety problem of Taiwan Railway recently. Cockroaches were found in lunch boxes before, and Taiwan Railway has apologized and launched a comprehensive investigation. Consumers and netizens called on Taiwan Railway to strengthen quality management to avoid the recurrence of similar incidents. News highlights after the video was recorded on the evening of the 19th, political commentator Lee Jun-geo had a driving dispute with a young man when he drove away. The man took advantage of Lee Jun-geo's rolling down the window of the car, sprayed pepper water and attacked before escaping. Surveillance showed that the man had been wandering at the scene long before the incident, suspected of premeditation. Lee Jun-geo has called the police and obtained an injury certificate, and revealed that the man left a chilly water bottle with fingerprints on it, and it is expected to find out the truth of the case, and report his safety to the outside world, emphasizing that he is well. News highlights when a father in Bangkiao, New Taipei was riding a motorcycle with a 1.5-year-old child. He was photographed by the public and reported that the child was not wearing a safety helmet and was fined 500 yuan. He complained that it was difficult to find qualified safety helmets for young children on the market, and it was not recommended for children under 2 years old to wear them, and questioned whether it was legal to go out by car. This incident sparked heated discussions among netizens. Some people believe that safety regulations should be strictly followed to protect children, and some people support fathers, pointing to practical difficulties and economic pressure. The discussion focused on how to balance traffic safety with the realities of life. News highlights 3 young Russian women in Lugansk played loud music and performed sexy dances in the streets, attracting many male onlookers and angering the local population. There is a state of war in the area, and there are even war memorials on the streets, and residents have criticized them for their misconduct. The police quickly identified the 2 women in short skirts and asked them to shoot an apology video, saying that they would not commit it again. This incident reflects the strict demands of wartime society on public behavior and popular sentiment. News highlights a delivery man shared a strange experience on guard, and after delivering food to a motel late at night, he was invited upstairs by a strange male guest to take a shower. The delivery man thought that there would be an ambiguous development, but it turned out to be a simple chat, and the male customer thanked him for helping to buy McDonald's, and there was no other inappropriate behavior. This story caused netizens to laugh and say, "I took off my pants, and this is the result." Some people also questioned the reason why the male guest stayed for a long time late at night, which caused heated discussions. News highlights Zhou Zhenhao, a Chinese doctor studying in the UK, was sentenced to life imprisonment by a London court for 10 women who straddled Britain and China, and will serve at least 23 years before he can apply for parole. Zhou Nan is handsome and wealthy, and once studied for a doctorate in mechanical engineering at the University of London, and used social situations to drug crimes. Police found 58 videos on their mobile phones, possibly as many as 60 victims. The judge called him a mask-wearing pervert who was sentenced to more than Taiwan's wealthy Li Zhongrui, causing widespread concern. News highlights tensions between the United States and Iran have risen, but US President Donald Trump has said he will observe for 2 weeks to assess whether to use force against Iran, as negotiations between the two sides are still possible. The White House stressed that Iran is close to nuclear weapons, threatening security in the Middle East and around the world. Trump wants a diplomatic solution, but does not rule out the option of force, and supports nuclear talks between European officials and Iran, stressing that Iran cannot possess nuclear weapons. News highlights Yan Yelun recently went on the podcast program to promote his personal talk show Yan Shang Yan Yelun, generously sharing his love experience, revealing that he had a low-key relationship with an artist, and finally broke up due to excessive pressure. He talked about the difficulties after the breakup, such as pets and awkward sex toys together, and also admitted that he currently has a stable date. Talking about the performance, he said that most of the jokes are written by himself, which is a process of healing and self-dialogue, and hopes that the audience will face the past with laughter, describing the performance as a ritual of rebirth. News highlights Hugua, Hong Kong, and OU Did will hold a Diamond Stage Night concert in Taichung in August. Regarding the topic of property distribution, he admitted that there is a plan, and the distribution of luxury houses is more related to the capital. The 66-year-old has a net worth of more than 600 million, and it is rumored that there are still TV stations that invite programs to cooperate, and he revealed that he is expected to start broadcasting before the end of the year, but emphasizes that the production cost is high and exquisite production is required to fight for ratings. News highlights $1 million internet celebrity Xiao Wu has recently been involved in controversy, and the originally carefully arranged Jeju Island whole-person plan was privately leaked to Xiao Wu by his friend Zhang Piyu, which led to the breaking of the plan and the emergency removal of the film. Zhang Piyu was bombarded by netizens, and Xiao Wu issued a statement to admit that he was uncomfortable, emphasizing that his original intention was to bring happiness, calling for stopping attacking partners, and expressing his cherishment of every friend who worked together. News highlights after the death of DS, it was rumored that his children would go to live in mainland China with Wang Xiaofei. In this regard, Wang mistress Xiao Mei clarified that the child is still studying in Taiwan, because she has established a life circle and is old enough to be assertive. The teacher does not recommend changing the environment immediately. She stressed that she would only return to Beijing during the holidays, and she and her husband usually took turns flying to Taipei to accompany her, denying that the child had become a trapeze, saying that everything was important to the stability of the child. News highlights Edison Chen was recently revealed to have a heated dispute with the flight attendant because he was dissatisfied with the disembarkation arrangement when he was on a Japanese flight, and even choked, "I will make you lose your job." Cause controversy. Netizens also turned out the video of him getting angry on the set in the past, questioned the staff, and was emotional. In this regard, Edison Chen admitted in an interview afterwards that there was indeed a communication misunderstanding in the initial shooting, but it was successfully resolved. News highlights Yan Yelun recently went on the podcast program to promote his personal talk show Yan Shang Yan Yelun, generously sharing his love experience, revealing that he had a low-key relationship with an artist, and finally broke up due to excessive pressure. He talked about the difficulties after the breakup, such as pets and awkward sex toys together, and also admitted that he currently has a stable date. Talking about the performance, he said that most of the jokes are written by himself, which is a process of healing and self-dialogue, and hopes that the audience will face the past with laughter, describing the performance as a ritual of rebirth. News highlights Good Luck Comes actors Luz Haihan, Ma Qiaobi, and Ayayu recently appeared on Medical Alliance to share the health problems of mature age. Luz Haihan revealed that he suffered from glaucoma, and his vision in his right eye was only 10%, and he needed to warm up before the action scene to prevent strains. Ma Qiaobi mentioned the early symptoms of presbyopia, and he often made jokes in his life. Aya worries that she has also experienced memory loss after taking care of her dementia father for a long time. The program reminds the public to pay attention to their health as early as possible and prevent future risks. News highlights He Long was recently witnessed by netizens traveling to Osaka, Japan with Albi, the host partner of He Long's night show, and the two interacted intimately, causing a love scandal. As early as April, Albi posted a photo of his birthday, hiding the words "Friendship is heaven," which seems to have early signs. In this regard, He Long's company Sadal only said that it would not respond for the time being, and did not confirm the relationship positively. After the news was exposed, it sparked heated discussions among fans. News highlights political commentator Lee Jung-geo was attacked by a strange man pouring chili water outside Sanli TV on the evening of the 19th, and the police investigation found that the suspect was suspected of waiting at the scene since the evening, and the crime was premeditated. Lee Jung-geo said that when the car was slow, the man used the excuse of theoretical raids, but fortunately, most of the pepper water was sprayed on the car window, and there was no major problem. The police have accepted the report and are pursuing the suspect. Lee stressed the condemnation of violence and the program will be broadcast as usual. News highlights Tesla's next-generation FSD chip AI5/HW5 has entered mass production, using TSMC's 3nm N3P process, and Samsung is the backup foundry. The computing performance of the new chip is up to 2,500 TOPS, which is 5 times that of the current HW4, and supports more complex unsupervised self-driving algorithms. Tesla expects to mass-produce the HW5 model in 2026, and emphasized that cooperation with TSMC and Samsung will help diversify supply chain risks. In the future, the FSD will be gradually upgraded, but it will not be fully applicable to the old model. News highlights the Controller's Office announced that the average recurrent salary of full-time domestic employees in April 2025 was 50,524 yuan, an increase of 0.67% month-on-month and 3.41% year-on-year. Including bonuses and overtime pay, the total salary is 58,878 yuan. However, the median is only $39,744, indicating that most people's salaries are below average. The highest salaries were in finance and insurance, with an average of 100,000, followed by electricity supply, information and communications, healthcare and professional and technical industries. Physicians and engineers earn far less than the financial industry. The Controller's Office provides a salary platform for the public to check salary rankings. News highlights Israel's war with Iran is on its 7th day, and US President Donald Trump has said he will decide whether to intervene within 2 weeks. The White House stressed that Trump would carefully weigh the opinions of all parties. The outside world is concerned that if the United States does not assist Israel, it may send a signal to China that the United States will not take action to defend Taiwan. A White House spokesman stressed that Trump has a good relationship with Xi and will make decisions based on intuition and experience. At present, the United States has not seen any signs of China's military assistance to Iran, but 3 mysterious Chinese cargo planes flew to the Middle East, which has attracted attention from the outside world. News highlights a male civil servant in his 30s in Iwate Prefecture, Japan, was arrested on suspicion of secretly photographing women's skirts at the Zhongshan station of the Taipei MRT when he traveled to Taiwan in early June. The Iwate prefectural government held a press conference on the 18th to apologize to the public, saying that the person was an employee of the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry, and Fisheries, and that he had roughly admitted to the crime and would consider a punishment after confirming the facts. Taipei police pointed out that the victim woman found something unusual and reported to the police, and the man has been transferred to the Shillin District Prosecutor's Office for the crime of obstructing sexual privacy and has been allowed to detain. News highlights the 2025 summer vacation tourism season is approaching. Northeast Asia and Southeast Asia have sufficient seats, and tour fares have generally declined, with Japan and South Korea dropping by 2%. The most popular destinations are Busan in South Korea, Kyushu in Japan, Malaysia, and Singapore. Hokkaido's lavender season attracts tourists, with a 5-day tour starting at 29,999 yuan. The decline in fares was mainly due to airline service increases and earthquake forecasts. Cola Travel pointed out that the tour fee in Japan has dropped by 6,000 to 8,000 yuan compared with last year, and Tokyo and Osaka are very popular. Indochina Peninsula regions such as Thailand have dropped by 2 to 4%, and the ticket price from Kaohsiung to Tokyo is even as low as 9,000 yuan. News highlights wanting to go to the toilet after breakfast is actually a normal physiological reaction called the gastrocolic reflex. Dietitian Lu Menfen pointed out that this reflex is particularly active in the morning and after meals, and eating will stimulate gastrointestinal peristalsis and promote the desire to defecate. The reflex process involves nerve and hormonal regulation that helps push food toward the rectum. It is recommended to develop the habit of going to the toilet after breakfast, and a diet rich in dietary fiber can help establish regular bowel movements, especially for children and the elderly. News highlights when People's Party legislator Huang Qiuaqing questioned him, he played the audio of the interrogation, called a demonstration tape, and the Minister of Justice questioned that it was generated by AI. Unexpectedly, Zhang Kekai, a legislator of the same party, blurted out playing Zhu Yahu's part, which caused the outside world to question that the source of the recording was not simple, and netizens angrily flooded Zhang Kekai's Facebook and criticized him for dragging Huang Qiuaqing down. Zhang did not respond to the controversy, but posted a picture of the train crashing into the school bus on Facebook, suggesting that the live broadcast was suspended, which caused dissatisfaction among supporters, who angrily criticized him for not apologizing for nonsense and diverting focus, which damaged the image of the People's Party. News highlights Chinese e-commerce platform Pinduoduo recently tried to enter the Taiwanese market, offering cooperation to a number of Taiwanese influencers, but was strongly rejected due to political stance. YouTuber Aaron and filial piety internet celebrity Debbie and others directly stated that I am a Taiwan independence element and refused to pay a low price, and the response was supported by a large number of Taiwanese netizens. The incident sparked discussions, and many internet celebrities also publicly received invitations but chose to refuse, showing a firm position, and Pinduoduo's move was criticized and humiliated by Taiwanese, and its image was severely frustrated. News highlights former White House Deputy National Security Advisor Coates warned that the next 10 to 15 years may be the most dangerous period in the world, and Taiwan's neighborhood is particularly sensitive. She affirmed that Taiwan's self-defense efforts are still insufficient, stressing that the U.S. side is under heavy pressure and needs Taiwan to shoulder more responsibilities. U.S. conservatives stress that if Taiwan does not help itself, the U.S. military should not intervene lightly. The escalation of the situation in the Middle East is also affecting the deployment of U.S. military resources, and NATO is negotiating to increase defense spending to 5% of GDP. At the same time, the United States assessed expanding AUKUS cooperation in the space domain to strengthen Indo-Pacific security and respond to China's challenges. News highlights internet celebrity steamed bun mother Lin Yuxin was recently involved in an emotional turmoil and was accused of intervening in her husband's marriage. Following the collision between the man's boutique and his ex-boyfriend's tea shop, the store Manchu Nature operated by him in Nantan, Taichung on the evening of the 19th, was also hit by a black Mercedes, causing the goods outside the store to be scattered. The police have arrived at the scene to deal with the matter and will clarify whether it was a simple accident or deliberate retaliation, and the suspicions of the case have aroused concern. News highlights: in order to save his reputation and marriage, Kanye West, has been in the spotlight recently, and quietly stayed in a luxury mental health center on the Spanish island of Majorca, where he recuperated with his wife Bianca for several weeks. The center costs up to about $5 million per week and is dedicated to hosting celebrities. The move has been questioned as being related to his recent racist and offensive remarks, and it is rumored that Bianca may consider a divorce or forced hospitalization. Lawyers said that recuperation is good for health, while sources believe that it is a tailor-made script to explain the controversial remarks, and the two sides have not yet responded publicly. News highlights: a 27-year-old woman surnamed Kay in Taichung was accidentally locked by the kitchen door when she lived alone, and she was trapped for 43 hours and could not ask for help. Since she didn't have a mobile phone, she suddenly wanted to use the ketchup in the refrigerator to write SOS 119 on the brown paper bag and throw it out of the balcony for help. The neighbor found something unusual and called the police, and the police and the fire department broke down the door to rescue the woman, but fortunately there was no major problem. The police humorously said that it was good to have a refrigerator, which allowed her to survive, and was surprised that she called for help with ketchup. This incident attracted the attention of the community and became a story that was frightening but ended successfully. News highlights: colorectal cancer is trending at a younger age, and physician Huang Xian pointed out that excessive intake of sugary drinks such as cola, milk tea, fruit juice, etc., is one of the main risks. Studies have shown that those who drink 2 glasses of sugary drinks a day have a 2.18 times higher risk of cancer than those who do not drink them, and those who drink an extra glass a day during adolescence have a 32% higher risk of cancer in adulthood. Sugar-sweetened beverages can harm the gut even more than red meat and processed foods. 63% of adults in the United States drink sugary drinks every day, which may contribute to the younger age of colorectal cancer. It is recommended to drink more plain water, sugar-free tea, pay attention to the ingredient label, develop a healthy diet and regular checkup habits, and reduce the risk of cancer. News highlights: Hong Kong veteran actress Wang Mingchuan recently shared that she and her husband Luo Jiaying were preparing to fly to Kuala Lumpur to perform at the airport. In May this year, he revealed that he had been diagnosed with prostate cancer for the 4th time, and doctors estimated that he would live up to 9 years, but he chose to give up chemotherapy and radiotherapy, and faced the condition calmly, expressing his hope to say goodbye comfortably. The couple were in good spirits and were blessed with a smooth concert by netizens. News highlights: Saran, a 45-year-old woman from Phetchabun province, Thailand, recently swallowed a sharp fish bone when she ate white eel, causing severe pain in her throat. The initial X-ray showed no foreign body, but after 2 weeks, the symptoms worsened, and the fish bones actually poked out of the skin of the neck on their own. The fish bones were successfully removed after emergency surgery and the recovery was good. The doctor reminded that the spines of white eels are hard and sharp, and accidental ingestion may cause infection or perforation, and called on the public to chew slowly when eating fish, and to seek medical attention in time in case of foreign objects. This matter is hotly discussed in the Thai community, and netizens share similar experiences and be wary of the danger of fish bones. News highlights: the god of wealth is especially favored by the 4 zodiac signs, so that they are born with a gold-absorbing physique. Capricorns are known for their pragmatism and patience, and they are good at long-term financial and asset management, and they are persistent in earning wealth. Taurus, on the other hand, accumulates wealth steadily with a keen sense of investment and the pursuit of quality of life. Virgo is shrewd and meticulous, good at analyzing plans and risk management, and making financial management easy. Scorpio has strong intuition and decisive decision-making, can seize market opportunities, and has interpersonal charm to help business success, all 4 of which are favored by the god of wealth because of their qualities, and their wealth fortune is strong. News highlights: the summer solstice is approaching, and the numerologist Qing Shuimeng International Tarot Yunwei pointed out the 3 most prosperous financial signs: Libra, Gemini, and Sagittarius. Libra is wealthy, has opportunities for promotion and salary increase at work, and is prone to extra income, such as investments or lucky draws. Gemini is financially strong, work efficiency is improved, income is growing steadily, and hard work will be rewarded. Sagittarius is partial to wealth and relies on inspiration and connections to obtain unexpected wealth, which is suitable for trying investment and side hustles. The summer solstice solar term is a financial opportunity, and it is recommended to seize the opportunity and take positive action. News highlights: the Japanese beverage company pointed out that the design of the PET bottle is easy to hide dirt, and it is not recommended to reuse. If you drink it directly by mouth after opening, the shelf life is about 1 day, and it can be extended to 2 to 3 days when poured out and refrigerated. Foreign studies have found that the bacterial content of sports kettles is amazing, with 930,000 colonies per square centimeter of sliding lid kettles, much higher than toilet seats, more than 150,000 squeezed and twisted lid types, and the lowest straw type. Experts recommend avoiding overnight water, choosing a non-stiff steel kettle and cleaning with a small amount of bleach every day to reduce bacterial growth and ensure safe drinking water. News highlights: if you feel stuck in your head and memory loss after a long day of work, it may be related to chronic inflammation and oxidative stress in the brain. Physician Sue Kitkin recommends taking more black natural ingredients, such as black fungus, kelp sprouts, seaweed, etc., because it is rich in phytochemicals and antioxidants phycoxanthin, which can help fight free radicals, reduce inflammation, and improve memory and cognitive function. Clinical studies have shown that phycoxanthin can improve vision and working memory, and reduce oxidative stress. The beta-glucan in black fungus also activates antioxidant mechanisms and protects nerve cells. Drawing on the Okinawan macrobiotic diet and eating a balanced intake of black ingredients can help your brain health and mental clarity. News highlights: a 65-year-old woman suffered from frequent urination and urinary incontinence during the Chinese New Year, and even incontinence due to shaking when riding the cable car, which affected her life. He was diagnosed with overactive bladder, and although the drug was effective, it had side effects, and the symptoms recurred after the drug was stopped. The doctor recommended that with casual exercise and supplementation of nutrients such as pumpkin seeds and soy isoflavones, frequent urination and urinary incontinence were significantly improved after 3 months, and normal life was restored. Studies have shown that pumpkin seeds and soy isoflavones can reduce frequent urination and urinary incontinence, especially for postmenopausal women, helping to improve quality of life. News highlights: People's Party legislator Huang Qiuqing publicly played a recording of the suspected interrogation of the Beijing Procuratorate prosecutor during the questioning of the Judicial Committee of the Legislative Yuan, and later admitted that he had made a demonstration tape for himself, which caused controversy. The Ministry of Justice believes that this move may constitute the crime of forging or altering documents, and has handed over the case to the Beijing Procuratorate for investigation. Wang Yushuan, a member of the Green Committee, also accused Huang Qiuqing of obstructing judicial fairness in person and asked the judiciary to intervene in the investigation. The Minister of Justice, Cheng Mingham, and officials of the Judicial Yuan stressed that such acts could interfere with judicial independence and judicial fairness. Wu Zongxian, the Blue Committee, had reservations about the falsification of the accusations and looked forward to judicial explanations, and the whole incident triggered fierce political and judicial attacks and defenses. News highlights: recently, some Taiwanese netizens shared the incident of Japanese tourists being deliberately hit and stolen. When a friend took his parents to Japan for a trip, he was met by an old Japanese lady who deliberately bumped into her friend's mother while taking the elevator, and then her bag was cut and stolen, containing credit cards and cash, and the police responded coldly. The post sparked heated discussions, and many netizens also said that they had been deliberately hit in Japan, believing that such incidents were more targeted at women or those with thin bodies, and it was not a new phenomenon, but it was more common recently. The public reminds to be vigilant when traveling to prevent such theft. News highlights: in the face of the return of the U.S. manufacturing industry, Taiwanese companies are actively deploying wafer factories and AI server production lines across the sea to participate in the restructuring of the global industrial chain. TSMC, Global Wafers, Honhai, and other large factories have successively set up factories in Texas and Phoenix, the United States, and the government has adopted the strategy of bringing the big with the small to assist Taiwanese companies to land, and gradually establish a local manufacturing system. Despite the higher manufacturing costs in the United States, high-value-added products such as AI servers and advanced chips are competitive in the market. Minister of Economic Affairs Guo Zhihui emphasized that Taiwan and the United States complement each other in science and technology, and that cooperation will bring commercial benefits, and announced that a trade service center will be set up to deepen the link between the two sides' industrial chains. News highlights: Israel has launched massive airstrikes against Iran since June 13, attacking nuclear facilities and killing senior military officers and scientists, while Iran has responded with missiles and drones, resulting in continued exchanges of fire and heavy casualties. U.S. President Donald Trump has said he is considering using force against Iran's nuclear facilities, but has not yet made a final decision and called for Iran's unconditional surrender. The conflict has aroused global concern and is likely to expand into a regional or even global crisis, affecting oil prices and the economy, and Taiwan is also facing energy supply risks. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs reminds Malaysians to stay vigilant and provide emergency contact resources. News highlights: the Ministry of Transport will amend the penalties for road traffic violations from June 30, increasing the penalty for minor injuries caused by driving without stopping to pedestrians from 7,200 yuan to 18,000 yuan, and the fine for serious injuries will be 36,000 yuan for death, and the criminal liability will be increased. In addition, the period of suspension of driver's license will be increased from 1 year to 1 to 2 years for minor injuries and from 3 years to 4 to 5 years for serious injuries or death. The Ministry of Transport also promotes pedestrian safety measures, such as increasing the distance of stop lines, setting up pedestrian shelters and dedicated signals, with a view to reducing pedestrian accidents and improving road safety. The relevant amendment bill is being sent to the executive branch for review and will be sent to the Legislative Yuan for deliberation. News highlights: fentanyl swept through the United States like a silent plague, rewriting the life stories of different generations and classes. 36-year-old Bowen became addicted to drugs when he was young due to the influence of his step-parents, lived on the streets for 7 years, and finally fell into the abyss of fentanyl drugs. The 46-year-old Blathwaite once had a stable life, but his family was broken by alcohol and drug problems, and he was repeatedly tested by life and death after being exposed to fentanyl. Fentanyl is a deadly dose of fentanyl that severely depresses breathing, killing more than 70,000 people in 2022 and becoming the leading cause of death in the United States between 18 and 45 years old. At the age of 63, Jones died of his stepson ingesting a drug laced with fentanyl, and he was determined to help others quit their addiction. Experts warn that the fentanyl crisis is still serious, and education and prevention are urgent. News highlights: the Philippine government announced that starting from July 1, 2025, holders of Chinese passports can enter the Philippines without a visa for 14 days. Foreign Minister Lin Jialong said that this is an important breakthrough and milestone for the two-way reciprocal visa waiver between Taiwan and the Philippines, which will help deepen the economic, trade, investment and tourism exchanges between the two countries. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs reminds Chinese citizens to abide by local laws and regulations, and provides the telephone numbers of the Representative Office and Emergency Contact Center in the Philippines in case of emergency. Lin Jialong thanked the Philippine government for pragmatically promoting bilateral relations, and hoped that this policy would promote more business and tourism cooperation and enhance the friendship between Taiwan and the Philippines. News highlights: a 77-year-old woman surnamed Wu Inbai suddenly felt severe heart pain at the ticket gate of the MRT Yuanshan station and fell to the ground in a coma after visiting the Ling Khao Mitsui outlet with her friends on the 19th. Ambulance personnel were reported to have rushed to the scene and rushed to the hospital, but were still pronounced dead after being rescued. The police said that the incident occurred at about 4 p.m., and the detailed cause of death is still to be clarified by the prosecutor. News highlights: affected by geopolitical tensions such as the conflict between Israel and Iran, the price of gold soared nearly 30% in 2025, to be quoted at $3,365.79 per ounce on the 19th. However, experts pointed out that gold prices have already priced in most of the positives, and it is expected to correct by 8 to 10% in the next 1 to 2 months, and may even fall below $2,700, or as much as 30% if the situation eases. Citibank also lowered its one-year gold price forecast to $3,300 from $3,500. The broker Quant Report also expects a short-term correction in gold prices, but recommends that long-term portfolios retain some precious metals to diversify risks. News highlights: the 2026 New Taipei mayoral election has attracted much attention, and the main candidates of the KMT's layout include legislator Hong Menkai, Taipei City Vice Mayor Li Sichuan and new Taipei City Vice Mayor Lu Heron, and the Green Camp has DPP Secretary General Lin Yusheng and legislator So Kaihuai. Wu Zijia, chairman of the Beautiful Island Electronic News, revealed that the latest polls show that Li Sichuan ranks first, former legislator Guo Zhengliang ranks second, Lu Heron follows, and Hong Menkai ranks last. Wu Zijia said that if Hong Menkai passes the primary election, he will become a candidate, but the gap is obvious at present. The battle for mayors in New Taipei is regarded as a key battlefield for the KMT, and victory or defeat will affect the layout of the 2028 general election. News highlights: on the beach next to Sun Yat-sen University in Zaizuan, Kaohsiung, in the early morning of the 20th, people who were swimming in the morning found a woman carrying a floating load and facing down, and the emergency police were called to extinguish. When firefighters arrived, the woman had been washed ashore by the waves and showed no signs of life. The deceased was wearing a pink shirt, black trousers and cloth shoes, and had no obvious external injuries on his back, but he was not carrying any documents, and his identity is still to be clarified by the police forensic investigation, and the cause of death is still under investigation. News highlights: numerology master Takasuk predicted a massacre in Israel as early as April, and advised countries hostile to Israel to seek mediation among powerful countries to avoid the expansion of the war. Recently, Israel and Iran have launched missile attacks against each other, and the war continues to heat up, which coincides with his prediction. Gao Fujin pointed out that he also warned of a possible catastrophic accident on July 10 or August 12, which could involve a financial crisis or stock market crash, but denied that there would be a disaster on July 5. These remarks have aroused concern, and the outside world is closely monitoring the development of the situation. News highlights: there are more than 10,000 new cases of colorectal cancer and more than 5,000 deaths every year. Qian Zhenghong, director of the Keelung Chonggung Liver Disease Prevention and Control Center, shared that a 79-year-old woman with end-stage colorectal cancer switched to taking 5 grams of turmeric per day due to side effects after 3 months of chemotherapy, and the liver tumor shrank from 3 to 5 centimeters to 1 centimeter, which surprised the doctor. Qian Zhenghong pointed out that colorectal cancer is mostly caused by too much meat and insufficient dietary fiber, so it is recommended to eat brown rice to increase fiber and vitamin E, and consume more cruciferous broccoli, which contains sulforaphane with anti-cancer effect and helps reduce the risk of colorectal cancer. News highlights: July is approaching, and the 3 zodiac signs of the zodiac rat, tiger, and horse of Soho outlets are ushering in a transit period, and their career and financial luck are both improving. The low tide of the zodiac rat in the past will be broken, and with the help of noble people with wit, it will blossom in work and financial management, and interpersonal relationships will gradually be harmonious. The zodiac tiger shows a strong leadership aura, turns pressure into motivation, leads the team to participate in important projects, and grows steadily in financial fortune. The zodiac horse is like a galloping horse, actively expanding its career and social circle, reaping unexpected wealth and opportunities, and significantly improving its quality of life. Overall, the 3 zodiac signs will usher in an all-round phase of good luck. News highlights: Koch, a former deputy national security advisor to the White House, warned in London on the 19th that the next 10 to 15 years will be the most dangerous period in the world, and Taiwan is located in the hotspot of the conflict and is the most important ally of the United States in the Asia-Pacific region. The U.S. is strengthening Taiwan's defense through a multi-party coordination mechanism, but this strategy is also a challenge to the U.S. The United States has warned Taiwan that it must do its part, otherwise it may damage the trust of its allies. As the situation in the Middle East heats up, the NATO summit will focus on defense expansion, and the Indo-Pacific Security Alliance AUKUS will also expand to the space domain, highlighting the intensification of global strategic competition, and Taiwan is at the center of the storm, and the situation is grim. News highlights: Sean Ryan, a well-known American podcast host and former Navy SEAL and CIA member, recently arrived in Taiwan to interview Vice President Xiao Maiken, focusing on China's military threat to Taiwan and Taiwan's important position in the global semiconductor supply chain. During his stay in Taiwan, Sean Lane experienced the earthquake, visited many scenic spots, and shot balloons at the Reahi night market, which aroused heated discussions among netizens. His program interviews active and retired military personnel, focusing on the experience of war and the life of retirement. Xiao Maiken stressed that Taiwan insists on maintaining the status quo in the Taiwan Strait, opposes provocation and coercion, and calls on the international community to understand the importance of peace and stability. News highlights: Evergreen, 2603, went ex-dividend on June 19, with a dividend distribution of 32.5 yuan and a cash yield of up to 13%, attracting the market's attention to the interest-filling market and the dividend income of related Taiwan stock ETFs. Evergreen is the 5th largest constituent of QNY Taiwan Select High Dividend ETF, 00919, holding 157 million shares, contributing more than 5.1 billion yuan in dividends to the ETF, becoming a major dividend toner. 00919 adopts the strategy of precise high dividend and precise dividend to screen the high dividend stocks announced by the board of directors of the current year, and include stocks that have not yet been distributed dividends, which has both stable dividend distribution and growth potential. Fund managers suggest that in the face of market volatility, investors can invest in high-yield ETFs on DIPs to diversify risks and improve returns, emphasizing the importance of long-term holding and cost control. News highlights: Telegram founder and CEO DeLove is worth $13.9 billion and plans to leave his vast fortune to more than 100 children. DeLove has 6 legal children with 3 partners and started donating sperm 15 years ago, and more than 100 children have been born from his sperm donation to date. He emphasized that all children have equal rights, regardless of whether they are born naturally or by donation, and that the will stipulates that children cannot use property for 30 years. Known for his controversial words and deeds, DeLove adheres to a healthy lifestyle and is active on Telegram, a platform with more than 1 billion users. Recently, French authorities have been granted permission to travel to Dubai more freely from July. News highlights: TSMC weakened, and Taiwan stocks continued to fall below 22,000 points on the 20th, but biomedical stocks performed well. Kangpei, 6919, new drug CBL-514 made public the results of animal experiments for the first time at the world's largest biotechnology event, and has the potential to become a new choice for weight loss drugs, and its stock price has hit a high for several days, with foreign investors buying more than 2,300 copies in a row, and the stock price has soared by more than 105% this year. In order to enhance liquidity, Kangpei plans to complete a 10x stock split in the third quarter. Taksin Pharmaceutical, 6838, adjusted its sales strategy of new ophthalmic drugs in the United States, and its stock price rose and rose. Yiying, 6637, revenue hit a high in its business diversified growth, driving a strong rebound in its stock price and becoming the focus of the market. News highlights: the central bank has not launched the 8th wave of housing market control, but the existing policies and lending tightening have plunged builders into a systemic crisis. Colliers International Huang Shui pointed out that the builders are facing 10 major business difficulties, such as the reduction of land purchase loans, the 18-month deadline for construction, the large difference in civil construction and financing interest rates, and the control of working capital. In particular, the double blow of the housing delivery tide and the tightening of bank funds, the poor sales of construction projects and the difficulty of loans have increased the pressure, the loan of surplus houses has dropped to 30%, the hoarding tax 2.0 and international political and economic changes have put buyers and builders into an existential crisis, and it is difficult to see a turnaround in the housing market in the second half of the year. News highlights from 6 o'clock on the 19th to 6 o'clock on the 20th, a total of 50 sorties were detected, including 46 sorties that crossed the center line of the strait and entered the northern, southwestern, and eastern airspace, and 6 ships, which continued to operate around the Taiwan Strait. The national military uses mission aircraft, ships, and shore-based missile systems to closely monitor and deal with them. News highlights mainland actress Zhu Dan recently arranged for her 6-year-old daughter and 3-year-old son to study in the same mixed-age class, and said in the show that her daughter would take care of her younger brother, which caused a patriarchal controversy. Netizens criticized her for letting her daughter take on too much responsibility, and even misunderstood that she was letting her daughter repeat a grade. After the incident appeared on Weibo's hot search, Zhu Dan issued an apology on the 18th, clarifying that it was only mixed-age education, emphasizing that it would be corrected and grown. She has also sparked criticism in the past for favoring men in the show, triggering widespread discussion about her views on parenting. News highlights the member of the Japanese boy group Tokyo suddenly announced the complete suspension of hosting work, shocking the entertainment industry, and it was rumored that he would be fired by Tokyo Co., Limited. According to Japanese media reports, the longevity program Iron Fist Dash hosted by him is involved in violations, and Japanese TV has urgently held a press conference to explain. Kakabun Taiichi is also the vice president of the company and the president of Tokyo BA, who has always had a good image, and has been appearing on the Kimura Takia program recently, and the sudden turmoil has caused speculation from the outside world, and the incident continues to ferment. News highlights the ghost temple Jing'ian Temple, which has been abandoned for 52 years in Keelung, has been sealed for many years due to illegal construction, and has become a gathering place for street friends and explorers, and has been repeatedly complained by residents about affecting public security and the environment. The city government recently announced that it will enter the site in August and the demolition is expected to be completed by the end of the year, and recover 15 million yuan from the landlord in accordance with the law. The temple was originally a place for travelers to stay during the Japanese occupation, but it was abandoned after the expansion was reported in 1973, and the interior is chaotic and gloomy. The city government emphasized that the land is private land and will be planned and used by the landlord in the future, hoping to improve the environment and safety of the community after demolition. News highlights Lin Fengyu, an authority on cardiac surgery, was shocked to be suffering from dementia, which caused concern. Intensive care physician Huang Xian pointed out that the latest research shows that patients with dementia may have gait abnormalities 10 years before diagnosis, including shuffling, shaggling, limping and broken walking, which may be related to neurodegeneration or brain lesions. According to data from the Ministry of Health and Welfare, the dementia rate of the elderly over 65 years old in Taiwan is 7.99%, and the rate of dementia among those over 85 years old is more than 23%. Huang Xian appealed to the elderly in the family to seek medical attention as soon as possible if they have abnormal walking, which can help delay cognitive deterioration. News highlights bariatric physician Su Jijian pointed out that the latest research shows that red meat and processed meat may be more harmful to health than sweets and sugary drinks. Eating more red meat a day increases the risk of diabetes by 10 to 15%, in the case of processed meats such as bacon and sausages, the risk rises to 20% to 30%. Saturated fats and additives can reduce insulin sensitivity and lead to uncontrolled blood sugar. He recommends replacing fish, chicken, and duck with vegetables and whole grains. Studies have also pointed out that the consumption of berries and whole fruits can help stabilize blood sugar and reduce the risk of diabetes, while pure fruit juice is not recommended to be consumed frequently. News highlights the NBA championship game G6 started today, 20th, and the Rolling Horse defeated the Thunder 108-91, forcing the series into G7, which is the first championship game since the Warriors vs. Cavaliers in 2016. Halliburton, the main player of the Horses, continued to play despite suffering a calf injury, and played only 23 minutes to contribute 14 points and 5 assists. Alexander scored a team-high 22 points, but made 8 turnovers, a new playoff high. G7 will be the final showdown, and the winner will win the championship.